Rise and shine, Sleeping Beauties. We're here to settle the score and find out which Disney World hotel breakfast is the best of the bunch to make reservations for. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Now you know how much I love my rankings videos, and this one might be the most important rankings video we've ever done. We are talking about the most important meal of the day. Today we're ranking all the Disney World sit-down breakfast options across the resorts, from good to best ever. That means this list is reserved for table service eats only, so sit-down restaurants. That means quick services, food courts, or table services that become quick services in the morning, like Sanaa at Animal Kingdom Lodge and Wailulu Bar and Grill at Polynesian Village, are not part of the competition. Those are both great restaurants, but we're not going to rank them today. Note though that this top 10 breakfast list looks really different to our top 10 Disney World restaurants list for the hotels overall, which is why it's been so fun to make. But if you want to see our top 10 restaurants lists factoring in breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the hotels, then you can check that out right now by scanning the QR code you see on the screen or clicking on the link for disneyfoodblog.com/top restaurants after this. But for now, time to wake up and smell the biscuits and gravy. All right, we're gonna start over at Coronado Springs Resort. Did you forget that Rick's Sports Bar and Grill exists? Did you even know it existed in the first place? Don't worry, you're not alone. Rick's Sports Bar and Grill over at Coronado Springs isn't exactly a table service you're gonna go out of your way to go to. It's mainly for those who are already staying as a guest at Coronado, or for those who love catching up on the sports ball even in the middle of vacation. And trust me, that's very easy to do at Rick's. You got 31 TVs to watch, and all of them are gonna be playing at least one of those big games. What's on the menu here? Well, for lunch and dinner, mostly pub grub. Think mozzarella sticks, wings, nachos, burgers, that sort of thing. But for breakfast, you might be shocked to hear that this ho-hum little restaurant is actually the keeper of some pretty impressive morning bites. The Southern Fried Chicken Biscuit Skillet comes with fried chicken, a cheddar biscuit, and sausage gravy. And y'all, this isn't dry or greasy chicken. This is crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, made even more flavorful thanks to that generous gravy on top. The Florida French toast here also gives Kona Cafe's French toast a run for its money. This one's filled with mascarpone, fig, orange jam, and then topped off with seasonal berries and a lavender glaze. I know, fancy. But the really fun thing to pick up at Rick's for breakfast is the chicken-filled waffles. Now read the fine print on this one, folks, because these are not your standard chicken and waffles. They're 4 Mickey waffles served on a stick, stuffed with chicken tenders, and served with a side of maple syrup. So the batter to chicken ratio on these is perfect. Again, if you're not planning on being anywhere near Coronado Springs during your trip, then I wouldn't stress over making a trip out here just for Rick's alone. But if you are going to be in the area and you do have time to eat there, I'd recommend prioritizing breakfast over lunch and dinner if that aligns with your sports ball schedule, that is. Otherwise, just wait to eat here till the Bills are playing. So breakfast at an Italian restaurant, usually best known for pizza and pasta? Stick with me. You might like this place more than you think. Trattoria Al Forno is an underrated Italian restaurant located at the Boardwalk Inn. It's open for breakfast and dinner daily. The vibes here are a nice blend of modern Italian theming meets vintage Italian theming. Picture dark wood, red accents, gold lighting fixtures, and black and white family photos. Now, back in the day, Trattoria might have actually ranked a whole lot higher on our breakfast list for its unique Bon Voyage adventure breakfast, which featured Disney couples like Rapunzel and Flynn Rider and Ariel and Eric. However, the character dining experience here has been MIA since 2020, so what you get now is just breakfast sans characters. That being said, the breakfast is still surprisingly unique. I mean, yeah, you're still gonna find the classic stuff like pancakes and eggs and bacon, but there are also a few options on the menu that take the classic stuff and present it in a new way, like the Sunrise Breakfast Pizza, topped with scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, and cheese, the Al Forno Eggs, which is a plate of brick oven roasted cage-free eggs served with polenta, fennel sausage, spiced tomato sauce, and country bread. The Oak Grilled Steak and Eggs is served with sunny side-up eggs, breakfast potatoes, crispy onions and hollandaise sauce, and there's a bunch more surprising but refreshingly delicious options too. Now, don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is another one of those places that's great for folks who are already in that area and looking for something new to chow down on, but maybe not something I'd recommend taking a separate trip out to the boardwalk just to experience. Maybe if the characters were still around, I would say otherwise. Actually, I would definitely say otherwise. But don't necessarily overlook Trattoria as a breakfast option. That said, don't feel obligated to prioritize it either, unless that breakfast pizza's calling your name or Rapunzel and Flynn Rider come back. So Kona Cafe at the Polynesian Village Resort focuses on Hawaiian, Polynesian, and American eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A few years back, Kona Cafe's dining room was revamped and it feels a whole lot brighter than it used to. The lights dangling from the ceiling actually represent the fishermen's baskets that are used on the real Kona in Hawaii. You've got those intricate and colorful pattern schemes on the ceiling. And a Kona tattoo artist actually designed the look for the ceiling, which shows the process of water meeting the land, shark teeth in the water, the land meshing with red lava from volcanoes, and the hardened lava that creates more land. And who doesn't love a hidden Mickey or two? If you look closely at those bright flowers on the wall, you might find a familiar pal painted on the petals. So Kona Cafe has some hidden decor elements, but if you're just sort of scanning it, I'm not gonna lie, it still kind of looks like just a hotel lobby restaurant. Anyway, to the menu. For the most part, Kona Cafe's breakfast menu isn't all that different from a normal morning spread. You got your omelets, your French toast, your bacon and sausage. But the two most noteworthy items here are actually on the sweeter side of things, and they are classics for this restaurant. First is their pancakes. You're always going to find two different pancake options on the menu. There's the staple macadamia nut pancakes topped with macadamia nut butter and pineapple sauce. Then there's the seasonal pancakes. Our favorite seasonal ones tend to be the pumpkin ones that show up every fall, but you might also find red velvet ones on Valentine's Day. You just never know. The second noteworthy breakfast item is French toast, but it's a little more than just French toast. It's Tonga toast. Less of a Kona Cafe staple and more of a Polynesian Village as a whole staple breakfast item. Tonga toast is banana stuffed sourdough French toast rolled in cinnamon sugar, served with a strawberry compote. Now, when I say sourdough French toast, it is huge, you guys. It is like 3 inches tall. It's massive. And it's definitely something you need to try at least once. But fair warning, you can get the exact same Tonga toast minus the strawberry compote for way cheaper down at the Captain Cook's quick service downstairs. While Kona Cafe's is going to put you back over 17, Captain Cook's only costs you 11. So while the atmosphere at Kona is more random Hilton lobby restaurant and less Disney-fied, there are some great benefits here. It's laid back, it's on that monorail line if you need something that keeps you close to Magic Kingdom without being in Magic Kingdom, and it's got a little something for everyone. The classics though, macadamia nut pancakes and Tonga toast, definitely must-tries at least once. So this one kind of hurts. Not gonna lie, because I love the Cake Bake Shop. I love the whimsical yet sophisticated theming, the chicken velvet soup, the giant cakes. I love that everything glitters thanks to their glitter dragon mascot, Brûlée. But if given the choice, I'm definitely coming here for lunch or dinner instead of breakfast. Not to say breakfast is a bad choice. Okay, here, instead of talking in circles, let me just get to it. You'll find a variety of breakfast and brunch items at the Cake Bake Shop, including breakfast cakes like all the butter mini pound cake and the blueberry crumb cake. Eggs, the crab cake's Eggs Benedict comes with a hearty portion of hollandaise sauce and the perfect pop for those poached eggs. Waffles, French toast, and pancakes, but the cinnamon toast brioche bites are my favorites in this category, if just for that cream cheese frosting that you can dip these dudes into. That's literally the best thing I had here for breakfast, for sure. Quiche and croques and croissants. The croque madame is one of the most noteworthy, made with country bread, French ham, Gruyere cheese, Dijon mustard, bechamel sauce, and a farm fresh sunny side up fried egg. Basically, you're not strapped for options here, and many of those options are indeed covered in glitter. So, with all those options, why is this so far down on today's list? Well, many of the same options you can find here, you can find at other locations around property too, for a whole lot cheaper and minus the glitter. For example, an egg sandwich at Cake Bake made with cheese, eggs, and bacon is going to put you back $19. Though if you go to one of the Value Resort quick services, you can get a very similar egg sandwich. I know it's not the same, but it costs half as much, and those are going to give you a side of potato barrels. If you want one of the Cake Bake quiches, expect to pay $24 to $29, though if you have the option to jump into Epcot with your valid park ticket, Les Boulangerie Patisserie has a great one for $8 to $10. Even an a la carte croissant from Cake Bake is going to put you back $11. Meanwhile, you can pay under $5 for a buttery, flaky croissant at a quick service like Contempo Cafe at the Contemporary Resort. Or again, go to L'Oreal. They just made them this morning. Oh, and back at Contempo Cafe, it's $6 for the cookie croissant, which is a chocolate chip cookie baked inside a butter croissant, and it still is less than the normal croissant from Cake Bake. I don't know, my experience for breakfast at Cake Bake has just been, I guess, standard. Not anything out of the ordinary except for those little cinnamon brioche bites. So it's lower here, but I'm happy to hear your arguments in the comments, and I would love to hear them. Cake Bake is great. It's fun and glitterific. I love lunch and dinner here, but if you want something really unique from this place, prioritize it for those two meals, not breakfast. Okay, Olivia's Cafe. Technically, Olivia's Cafe over at Old Key West Resort offers brunch, not breakfast, but tomato. You know, it's still got French toast and eggs and biscuits and gravy and other classic morning entrees, just served alongside some other lunchier options for the non-breakfast fans of your group. Some may say brunch is even better than breakfast. Who knows? Let me know in the comments what your vote is. Now, Olivia's can often go undetected by Disney guests because, well, most folks don't actually make an extra trip out to Old Key West just to check out their dining scene, but Olivia's might convince you otherwise. This is a casual spot that makes you feel like you're sitting out on a relaxing porch near a beach somewhere. Olivia's is open for breakfast and brunch, lunch and dinner, but each menu is going to have that classic American fare with a Florida Keys influence. Some of our favorite brunch options here include the banana bread French toast topped with the Bahamian banana rum syrup, creme anglaise, and coconut whipped cream, the sombrero beach omelet stuffed with ham, green peppers, onions, cheddar, and topped with sour cream and pico de gallo, and the conch fritters, which you can actually get all day long, but I just love these little fried dudes and wanted to mention them anyways. That key lime mustard dipping sauce is excellent. One of the best things about Olivia's Cafe, offering more of a brunch instead of a breakfast, is that its morning offerings are available for a whole lot longer than typical breakfast stuff at other Disney World restaurants. Normally, the brunch menu is available starting at 7:30 and it goes till 2, so even if you book a later lunch, you're still more than welcome to try the morning spread. And unlike the Disney Springs brunch offerings across their select restaurants, which only offer brunch on the weekends, Olivia's does brunch every day, so you can easily integrate brunch into your vacation schedule instead of having to fit your weekend schedule around brunch. Overall, Olivia's gets a big thumbs up from our team for being a low-stress, casual, and delicious spot to spend the morning or early afternoon. But if you tend to associate brunch with something more exciting or perhaps fancier, then the laid-back vibes with minimum Disney theming might deter you from this place, especially if you're not already staying at Old Key West, since it's kind of out of the way to make a trip over to this resort otherwise. I have slightly similar feelings about eating breakfast at Steakhouse 71 in the Contemporary Resort as I do about eating breakfast at Cake Bake. I like this place a lot, but breakfast is going to be my least favorite meal here. The 71 in Steakhouse 71 is a nod to the opening year of Disney World, which is why you're going to see lots of pictures from the early days of the resort and the construction of Magic Kingdom as you enter into the restaurant, followed by big modern art murals inside the dining room depicting Disney World's parks and classic rides. But I really do prefer eating here during lunch or dinner or just later on in the day over at the walk-up lounge, because that's when you're going to get those top-tier items like the bacon and eggs appetizer and the stack burger and the various steakhouse cuts for dinner only. Now when it comes to breakfast, Steakhouse 71 plays it pretty safe. Just like Kona, you got options like omelets and seasonally inspired pancakes, but you've also got a few more interesting choices like Walt's prime rib hash made with seared prime rib, fried potatoes, caramelized onions and peppers, and a fried egg. So basically, if you're looking for a sit-down breakfast that's more budget-friendly and better for picky eaters, Steakhouse 71 is a solid choice. But the best way to experience Steakhouse 71 is after 11 a.m. when the more memorable items hit the menu. Now, personally, if given the choice, I'd probably choose both Kona Cafe, Olivia's, and Steakhouse 71 breakfast over Chef Mickey's in the Contemporary Resort any day of the week. But I know not everyone agrees with me on that front, which is why I put it up a little higher on this list, but I'm still ready to defend my stance on why I'm not the biggest fan of this place for breakfast, or any time of the day, really. Whether you want to dine at Chef Mickey's for breakfast or dinner, this buffet continues to be one of the most difficult reservations to get on property. The reason reason? This is the only character dining experience where you can meet every single member of the Fab Five, including Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto, and they're all in cute little chef's outfits at that. While many other character dining experiences feature Fab Five character meet and greets as well, some of which we'll be talking about soon, they'll be missing at least one of the friends from the bunch. But at Chef Mickey's, the gang is all accounted for, and maybe that's enough to sell you on this place. I mean, at the very least, you know your Mickey and Minnie loving kids are going to have a grand old time, especially when you find out that throughout the meal, kids will be prompted at different times to get up and dance with the Fab Five crew and maybe have a fun little napkin twirling parade, which is kind of gross if you think about it, around the dining room. So, why is it so low on today's breakfast list and at the bottom of my personal breakfast list? Well, 3 key reasons. First, the whole thing is super rushed. The last time our DFB reporters came here for breakfast, they were herded into sections around the dining room, and shortly after they were seated, the characters came over to their section, making the interactions super fast and fleeting. And there's a huge demand and turnover for this restaurant, so I get it. I'm glad the characters are doing what they can to make sure they get time with every family, but again, it feels like a whirlwind and less like you're getting genuine moments with your bestest pals. Now, 2, this breakfast buffet is on the pricier side of things, but what you're getting for that price is very typical. Granted, breakfast is still the cheapest way to experience Chef Mickey's since dinner costs $69 per adult and breakfast costs $59. But aside from a few standout options like the warm cinnamon rolls with sweet cream cheese icing mixed with a drizzle of caramel, the light and fluffy croissants and the cheesy potatoes, and sometimes those blintzes, everything else on the buffet line is pretty typical and kind of mid. And 3, this is not a quiet breakfast. Again, all you parents and guardians out there might love that about Chef Mickey's because you don't have to stress over whether your kids get squirrely during the meal or not. There are lots of excited kiddos getting up and dancing around and squealing when they see their good buddies Donald and Goofy walk by. But when it's 7:30 or 8 a.m. and you still haven't gotten your first cup of coffee for the day, the amount of activity happening at this restaurant so early in the morning might be a little less enjoyable and a little more overstimulating, if you know what I mean. But maybe I'm just being a fuddy-duddy. I can admit this. In general, Chef Mickey's is great for families with younger kids. You get to see so many characters without waiting in line for them at the theme parks, and the buffet options are good for picky eaters. But am I willingly going to choose Chef Mickey over all the other table service breakfast options on today's list? Don't count on it. Okay, quick note here. If you've got our DFB guide to Walt Disney World dining handy, I'd highly recommend that you check out our hotel-specific section when you get the chance. You'll not only see which character dining experiences and buffets we prefer over Chef Mickey's, but you'll also have access to other handy and easy-to-follow hotel extras, like restaurant maps, breakfast locations across other partnering resorts, including Shades of Green, Swan and Dolphin, etc., unique food experiences, including the best ones with fireworks views for dinner, Disney dining plan, tips, food crawls, and so much more. And if you don't have our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining, then what are you waiting for? Go pick up your copy over at dfbstore.com and use code YouTube for an extra discount before you check out. This guide is 100% money back guaranteed. You don't like it? No worries, just let us know and we'll get you your money back. Okay, now we're moving on to some hotel breakfast table services that maybe aren't our all-time favorite, but they each have some shining aspects that make them way more worthwhile. Ale and Compass over at the Yacht Club really shocked us during our last breakfast visit in a good way. So the breakfast buffet here works a little differently than your standard buffets. You can order individual entrees, or you can do the continental enhancement options, where you can choose an entree plus get additional continental offerings off the buffet. The continental option is $28 for adults, and since most individual entrees range from $16 to $25, that means for as little as $3 more, you get access to the entire buffet along with your full entree and your drinks included. So this might be the best breakfast when it comes to stretching your dollar. It's an amazing deal, especially for Disney standards. And it also helps that the entrees here are really high quality too. Some of our past favorites include the chicken and waffles with cranberry maple syrup, the steak and eggs with a brown butter hollandaise, and those warm cheddar biscuits straight off the continental buffet spread. Overall, this is a very underrated table service spot for some affordable breakfast noshes, and I think it'd be way higher on today's list if it were more exciting. Ale & Compass's downfall is just that its main ambiance is gastro-pub chic. Like, you could find this place anywhere. There's no Disney about it. If you need a break from all the Disney theming and immersion, that's one thing. But if you'd rather not pay a decent amount of money for a breakfast environment you could literally get anywhere else, then Ale & Compass's continental enhancements may not be enough to persuade you to book a reservation here. Want an interactive meal minus the character meet and greets? Whispering Canyon Cafe over at Wilderness Lodge can make that happen for you. Whispering Canyon is open during breakfast, or rather brunch, lunch, and dinner, but no matter what time you choose to dine, expect a crew of wayward servers that are set on making you laugh all meal long, as well as your choice of all-you-can-eat down-home grub served by the skillet in a shareable family-style portion, or a la carte entrees if you'd rather not share the entree with the whole family. The shareable skillets are decent. There's nothing really too terribly standout about the three on offer, but it is nice to see there's a skillet option for those looking for lighter options, a skillet for those looking for traditional morning stuff, and a skillet for the carnivore-loving family too. And as far as the a la carte entrees go, there's nothing too standout among this menu either, but it's nice to see a decent variety of classic options, plant-based stuff, and even some more lunchy options like sandwiches and burgers for the folks in your group who just they're not really into breakfast. What I'm saying is, Whispering Canyon Cafe has quite the range, though the quality might leave something to be desired. A big reason why you book a meal here is for those zany server antics. Just to give you a few possible scenarios that could happen here to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. If you ask for ketchup, your sassy server might proceed to bring you every single ketchup bottle. And if you ask for a refill on your drink, you might be brought a variety of cups in different sizes, some huge and some tiny. Now, if you absolutely love meals where the servers will sass you or heckle you in a fun way and poke fun at everyone at your table, then this will be great for you. But much like I said about Chef Mickey's earlier, all this sassing might be a lot to handle in the morning. So if you'd personally prefer a quiet, relaxing meal for breakfast or brunch, and you're not big on the thought of your Mickey waffles coming with a side of pomp and circumstance, then this might not be the place for you. But if you're looking for a fancy brunch option, I've got a solid alternative for you. Grand Floridian Cafe, located at, you guessed it, Grand Floridian Resort, has the same sort of breakfast/brunch setup going on as Olivia's Cafe. Brunch here is offered daily and it's offered until 2 p.m. Another way it's similar to Olivia's is both restaurants tend to be really easy to make morning reservations for and highly underrated. But truth be told, not only is Grand Floridian Cafe a hidden gem, it's the most affordable sit-down meal you're going to find in this deluxe resort. The vibe is upscale cafe, but not to the point it feels hoity-toity and on par with the likes of Citrico's or Victoria and Albert's. It's charming and very clean and reflects kind of that Victorian, your grandmother's parlor sort of thing that this resort is pretty well known for in the first place. Some might call it dated, some might call it adorable. Who knows? Again, since this is brunch we're talking about, you'll find a mixture of breakfast items and lunch items on the menu. And these brunch items just feel sort of elevated without you having to pay an elevated price for them. You got the steak and eggs featuring a 10-ounce New York strip steak with house-made steak sauce, 2 eggs any style, and cheesy hash brown casserole. We love a cheesy hash brown casserole. The Floridian-style eggs Benedict made with 2 poached eggs, corn cakes, pulled pork, poblano hollandaise, and served with a marinated tomato salad on the side. The Pog French toast. Yep, you can eat your Pog here thanks to this French toast stuffed with passion fruit, guava, and orange. And a buttermilk fried chicken and waffle made with hand-breaded chicken breast, malted Mickey waffle, which I used to have to ask for specially, but now that just comes with it, which is great, and sriracha honey drizzle. Yeah, there's a reason Grand Floridian Cafe is taking a spot nearer to the top of our breakfast options. It's classy, it's tasty, it's easy to make reservations for, and it's super close to Magic Kingdom in case you need to make a quick getaway or you need something to fill up the morning before starting your park adventures. Is it going to be the most exciting table service option for kids? Probably not, but maybe the monorail ride over here will make up for that. And now we're getting to our favorites. These are the hotel table services that are going to be perfect for a certain selection of folks due to their unique character offerings and interesting morning munches, though they're definitely not for everybody. Cape May Cafe over at Beach Club Resort is a buffet-style restaurant with endless surf and turf for dinner, but a fun character meet and greet for breakfast. In the morning, you can join Minnie and Co. during Minnie's Beach Bash Breakfast. Beach Bash Breakfast is a tongue twister, where Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy will all be dressed and ready for a date in the sand and sun. Unlike Chef Mickey's, Cape May's a lot more lax, and you feel less pressured to gobble your grub and get out of there. Not to mention, the character meet and greets feel more intentional here. In the past, Donald even came up to our table and sat down with us for a little bit, which was great for him and for us because it gave us more time to compliment his cute little straw hat and touristy button-up, which he adored. And hey, you get the characters, the endless eats, some more unique buffet items, and a much more peaceful atmosphere for a lot cheaper than Chef Mickey's. Cape May, $49, Chef Mickey's, $59. Even before you hit the buffet, you get a complimentary order of salted caramel beach buns, and those are absolutely incredible. They're sticky and sweet, and they're super moist thanks to the vanilla sauce they're served with, and the flaky specks of salt add good depth of flavor. Oh, these are so good. Nobody knows about them. Once again, most of the stuff on Cape May's buffet line is what you'd expect, right? Mickey waffles. There's mini waffles there too, though, by the way, which it's hard to find mini waffles sometimes. Chocolate chip pancakes, French toast, potato, sausage, bacon, eggs. But you might also run across one or two parts of this buffet that stand out a little bit more, like the omelet and ham carving stations, the cheddar biscuits and gravy, hash brown cups with eggs. They've also got some, like a crepe station as well. So a little bit calmer, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit cheaper. Now you don't get to meet Mickey, but it still is within walking distance of a park. You can head right into Epcot after this. 1900 Park Fair is located in Grand Floridian as well. Last year, the restaurant reopened after 4 years of being down for the count, and the changes made to it were somewhat controversial, but overall pretty good, I think. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. For starters, 12 new Disney portraits now hang on the 1900 Park Fair walls. Each one features a different Disney character and is inspired by the Impressionist art style of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. An even bigger change than the art, though, is the characters. Whether you book reservations here for breakfast or dinner, you'll get to be part of Wishmaker's Enchanted Dining. This features characters like Aladdin in his Prince Ali look, Cinderella, Mirabelle from Encanto, and Tiana in her new outfit for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Some folks still miss seeing characters like Mary Poppins and Alice in Wonderland and Winnie the Pooh make their rounds during their meal, which appealed more to the resort's overall UK/Victorian styled aesthetics in the first place, but it is nice to see the Wishmaker's Enchanted Dining featuring both new and classic Disney characters. Now for the buffet options. This is the kind of breakfast spread that doesn't just make you return to the buffet line for seconds, you might be coming back for thirds and fourths because there's so much to choose from. One of the most famous items here is the Grand Floridian strawberry soup with fresh strawberries and whipped cream served on the side so you can load up on the toppings yourself. This is a cold soup, but it's probably the only cold soup that I'm okay with, I'll be honest. Now, 1900 Park Fair for dinner does have Tiana's gumbo and a mean prime rib, but breakfast has fabulous options as well. I think the quality and variety on the breakfast buffet blows some of the other character breakfasts out of the water. And while the characters here probably won't come back to your table for a bunch of visits, because this place is pretty big and tends to be poppin', each character does a great job of being fully in the moment with you, really adding to the overall experience. Okay, we've reached the point in our video where we're down to the top 3 breakfast locations in Disney World, and I know for a fact that the number 1 spot is gonna surprise you a little bit. Topolino's Terrace, this is our number 3, is located right on top of the Riviera Resort. Now, this restaurant's open for both breakfast and dinner, but depending on which meal you book, you'll be receiving a completely different experience. Dinner is your fancier option with an a la carte menu filled with Italian influence and Epcot fireworks views in the evening. But during breakfast, this place transforms into a prefix character meal called Breakfast a la Art with Mickey and Friends, where Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy will come to greet you in their art-inspired costumes, which are some of my favorites. Now, don't be fooled by the upscale atmosphere in here. This is still a character breakfast and an awfully popular one, so things can get a bit rowdy and loud at times, though it is still relatively less rowdy than what you'll experience at Chef Mickey's. I'm sorry, I gotta leave Chef Mickey's alone. It's doing the best it can. Now, for this prefix meal, you'll choose one entree and you'll receive a basket of different pastries as a nice little appetizer, served in the cutest paint bucket with like palette dishes, and they make you feel all artsy-fartsy. Now, the basket includes croissants and chocolate chocolate chip muffins and pain au chocolat, along with an assortment of spreads like honey butter and house-made fruit jam, and a chocolate hazelnut mousse similar to Nutella. You might see traditional breakfast ingredients on the menu, but these adult entrees are far from your typical breakfast options that you might find at other morning locations. Wood-fired steak and eggs, divine. These come served with cheesy and buttery polenta, pomodoraccio tomatoes, roasted potatoes, wild mushroom conserva, and your choice of 2 eggs any style. Other noteworthy breakfast dishes here are the quiche gruyere, the wild mushroom scramble for a plant-based option, and the sour cream waffles, which I know sound weird, but the sour cream is more there to tame the overall sweetness, which you'll normally get from a classic Mickey waffle. And it comes with fancy toppings like roasted apples and chantilly and orange maple syrup. So we're big fans of Topolino's Terrace, but there is one thing I want to mention. Breakfast at Topolino's costs $52 per adult, and that's just for 1 basket of pastries and 1 entree. The quality of that entree is great, and the character interactions here are top-notch, but if you'd rather pay the same amount or just a little bit more for a much larger quantity of all-you-can-eat options, then you might want to stick with those character buffets instead. Grab your best buddy and make your way over to Ohana over at Polynesian Village Resort because we're about to dig into the best friends breakfast. Ohana is a popular one, so if you want to dine here, you'll want to prioritize those advanced dining reservations as soon as they open up for you 60 days before your visit. You got the option to eat here during either breakfast or dinner, and while dinner tends to be the biggest hit of the two, especially if you can time your visit right and secure a seat by the window to see Magic Kingdom's fireworks while you dine, the best friends breakfast is the only time of day that Ohana has character meet and greets. Not only that, but Ohana is the only character dining experience property-wide where you'll be able to meet Lilo and Stitch during your meal, as well as good old Mickey and his very best friend Pluto. While you may know Ohana for its cult-following noodles and famous bread pudding, breakfast is a whole different affair, offering an American breakfast influenced by Polynesian flavors. Breakfast will be served to your table in various family-style skillets, featuring more classic breakfast staples like scrambled eggs, warm biscuits, and Mickey-shaped waffles. Plus Stitch waffles, too. This makes my scriptwriter Bria absolutely giddy since she's declared herself the world's biggest Stitch fan. Sorry if you thought you were that. She called dibs. But you're also going to see those promised tropical flavors amongst the skillet options, too, like Hawaiian-style ham with pineapple compote, pork breakfast sausage links, and fried island-style potatoes. Similar to Cape May Cafe, though, one of my favorite parts about the meal here is the bread served before everything, because that freshly made pineapple coconut breakfast bread is now the emergency contact in my phone. That's how important it is to me. It's light and fluffy and fresh and very sweet, with little chunks of pineapple baked throughout, and the lightly drizzled icing on top, the literal icing on the cake, or rather on the bread. Okay. Your family of Lilo and Stitch fans or just tropical-loving fans in general will probably get a kick out of this place. And don't forget, you're right next to Magic Kingdom, and you can see the castle from here, you guys, so try to score a table by the window. And coming in at number 1 is, drumroll please, Boma over at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Let's give it up for Boma. This has quickly become one of those breakfast buffets that I try my hardest to squeeze into my Disney World trips. Boma gives you the chance to sample flavorful African dishes, as well as a few American favorites during breakfast and dinner. But this is one of those rare occasions where I actually prefer breakfast over dinner here sometimes. Not only is the buffet cheaper during breakfast, $39 versus $58, but the variety is way different than what you're going to find at a lot of Disney World breakfast buffets, aside from Tusker House and Animal Kingdom, but that's a topic for another day. Boma's buffet offers a variety of dishes like seasonal fruits and African pastries and a really good scrambled egg option with spinach, tomato, and feta cheese. You got Simba waffles, seasonal bread puddings with a divine vanilla creme anglaise to pour over the top, carved ham that you can pair with a slightly spiced Boma mustard, breakfast potatoes, oatmeal you can load up on all sorts of toppings, babouti, which is a type of African quiche, pap, it's a buttery grits-like side, and so much more. You're not going to find Mickey and the gang meeting and greeting everyone here, but every now and then, you will be able to witness an African drumline make its rounds throughout the dining room. Boma, you never fail to amaze me with your unique breakfast spread that's also picky eater friendly, and your immersive African theming and your affordable buffet prices. You've earned the gold medal for Disney World Hotel breakfasts today. I'm actually about to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge this weekend, and I cannot wait. Admit it, did the winner of today's resort breakfast competition kind of surprise you, or did you see this one coming from a mile away? Let me know in the comments, and let me know which breakfast you would have crowned the winner of today's competition. And if you're ready ready for more videos about morning munches around property? We've got more for you to consume next, so check out our ultimate guide to the best breakfast in Disney World. I love that video when you get the chance, and don't forget to pick up our free list of the DFB team's top restaurants in Disney World over at disneyfoodblog.com/top restaurants. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.